Welcome, wanderers, to Wanderlust Stories, a place where the world's most fascinating tales come alive. My name is Wanderlust, and today I'm taking you somewhere different. A place whispered about in coastal villages and buried in half-forgotten maps. A place not marked by palm trees or cocktails, but by fog, mystery, and the kind of adventure that changes you. This is the story of Moonlit Cove, and how a simple summer trip turned into a treasure hunt none of us will ever forget. It was the summer of 2021 when I first met Lily and Emma, two friends who had spent their entire adult lives chasing the thrill of adventure. They weren't your typical wanderers. They were seasoned travelers, always seeking out the unknown, their restless spirits drawn to places untouched by time. They had spent years wandering the world's forgotten corners, but Moonlit Cove had always eluded them. I met them in Windless Bay, a quaint coastal village that looked like it belonged in a postcard. The air was thick with salt. The sea stretched endlessly toward the horizon, and the fog, always present, gave the place a mysterious aura. I was sitting at a cafe by the water, idly sipping iced tea, when I noticed them sitting by the pier. They were whispering in low voices, passing a tattered map back and forth. Curiosity got the better of me, and I walked over. "What's this?" I asked, leaning in to take a look. Lily, the more pragmatic of the two, grinned up at me. "We found something, an old treasure map." Emma, her eyes wide with the kind of excitement that only someone who'd spent too much time dreaming could have, added, "A real one. We think it leads to Moonlit Cove." I raised an eyebrow, skeptical but intrigued. Moonlit Cove? Isn't that just a legend? Lily shrugged. "Could be, but there's only one way to find out." There was something about their energy, familiar, wild, contagious, and even though I didn't know them well, it felt like I was meant to be there, to be part of whatever this was. Though I didn't fully believe in the treasure map, something about their determination made me want to tag along. I wasn't in the mood to say no to an adventure, especially one that promised the possibility of mystery and the unknown. The map was old, its edges frayed, and the ink barely visible in places, but it clearly marked a path leading to Moonlit Cove, a location locals spoke of only in hushed tones, if they spoke of it at all. The legend said it was cursed. Some said it was haunted. Others claimed it was a place where time stood still. We packed light, a few essentials, some snacks and flashlights, and set off just as the sun began to dip behind the horizon. The night air was cool, and the Windless Bay felt like a place suspended between worlds. The deeper into the forest we went, the more detached from reality we became. The birds grew silent. The trees bent inward, forming twisted arches above the narrow trail. At one point, we passed a moss-covered statue that looked vaguely human. None of us spoke. We just stared for a beat too long and kept walking. As we made our way through the thick forest, Emma's voice cut through the quiet. "Look, a shiny rock. Maybe that's a clue." Lily laughed, shaking her head. "That's a rock, Emma, not treasure." I smiled, realizing that some things never changed. Even as adults, they still had that childlike wonder when it came to chasing the impossible. And honestly, I couldn't help but feel a spark of it myself. When we reached the edge of the cove, the moon had risen high in the sky, casting its light across the still waters. The scene was nothing short of magical. The cove was as beautiful as it was eerie, its calm waters reflecting the moonlight like a polished mirror. The cliffs surrounding the cove glowed with a soft blue shimmer, almost as if they had absorbed the moonlight itself. Bioluminescent plants dotted the shoreline, glowing faintly like embers in the dark. It felt like we had stepped into another world. Lily took the map out again and studied it closely. "This is it. We're standing right where the X is marked." Emma, always the eager one, darted towards the shoreline. "I'll start digging here." "Are you sure about that?" I called out. "We could be digging for hours." Emma looked back, her face serious. "I can feel it. The treasure is here. I know it." So we joined her, our hands moving swiftly in the cool sand. For a while, nothing happened. The only sound was the steady rhythm of the waves lapping at the shore. But just as we were about to give up, my shovel hit something solid. "Hold on," I said, crouching down to get a better look. Lily leaned in as well. Is that a chest?" Emma was already pulling it out, excitement lighting up her face. "It's real!" she exclaimed, her voice full of wonder. The chest was small, covered in barnacles and seaweed, but unmistakably real. We stared at it for a long moment, before Emma managed to open it, her fingers trembling. Inside the chest, we found not gold or jewels, but something far stranger. An assortment of beautiful, polished seashells, each one glowing faintly in the moonlight. They were unlike anything I had ever seen, iridescent, vibrant, almost otherworldly. Emma picked one up and held it in her hand. "These are incredible," she whispered, as if in awe. "There's something about them." Lily, always the skeptic, smirked. "So, no treasure in the traditional sense, but they're beautiful, I'll give you that." As I reached for one of the shells, I noticed something else. A small folded note wedged underneath the shells. I carefully opened it, reading the words aloud. "The real treasure isn't gold or jewels. It's the ones you find along the way." The words hit us like a quiet thunderclap. We looked at each other, not in disappointment, but in a kind of stunned reflection. It was a message that somehow felt like it had been written just for us. We stood in silence for a moment, processing the note's meaning. Lily broke the stillness first. "I think this is it. The adventure, the map, the journey. That's the treasure we were meant to find." Emma's face brightened with understanding. The treasure wasn't the chest, it was us, together, finding something amazing. "That's the real treasure." I smiled. She was right. It wasn't the gold or the jewels that mattered. It was the journey we had shared, the mystery, the excitement, the unexpected moments that had brought us together. And in that moment, something shifted. We didn't need validation. We didn't need riches. We had each other. And in a world so obsessed with having more, we had found the one thing that couldn't be bought. Meaning. We packed up the chest of seashells, the night now feeling far less mysterious but infinitely more meaningful. As we walked back to the village, the moonlit path stretching out before us, I realized that some treasures can't be measured in wealth. The most valuable things are often the ones you can't hold in your hands. The memories, the experiences, and the bonds forged along the way. And as Windless Bay came back into view, its sleepy lights flickering like fireflies against the dark, I couldn't help but think, maybe the map had worked after all, just not in the way we expected. So, my fellow wanderers, if you ever find yourself walking along the shores of Moonlit Cove, remember this. The real treasure isn't something you can possess. It's the memories you make and the people you share them with. Until next time, this is Wanderlust, reminding you to always keep seeking adventure. The best treasures are often the ones hidden in plain sight.